All right, let's dive into a classic medical mystery. We're talking about lockjaw. You know, it's a name that sounds pretty terrifying, right? But what's really going on behind this condition? Well, we're about to find out. So to get this investigation started, I've got a bit of a puzzle for you. Nailing the answer to this is going to put us on the right track to figuring out this whole phenomenon. Okay, so take a look at these. Which one would you expect to see trismus with? Lockjaw. Is it A, tetanus, B, rabies, C, mumps, or D, meningitis? Now, all of these are pretty serious, for sure, but only one is what we call the classic cause. Go ahead, take a guess. Now, before I give away the answer, let's just make sure we're on the same page with that word trismus. It's really just the medical term for a spasm in your jaw muscles that makes it super hard to open your mouth. But you probably know it by its much more common name, lockjaw. Pretty fitting, right? Okay, you got your answer locked in? Let's see if that medical intuition of yours was right. Time to unmask the culprit. And the answer is A, tetanus. Yeah, if you picked tetanus, you absolutely nailed it. That's the one most famously linked to lockjaw. And here's why that's so important. With tetanus, trismus isn't just some random side effect that might pop up. Nope. It's often the very first sign. It's like the biggest red flag you can get. The other conditions on that list, yeah, they're serious, but they don't usually bring lockjaw to the table. So you see, lockjaw is really just a symptom of a much bigger, much more dangerous problem. Tetanus. And what is tetanus exactly? Well, it's a potentially fatal disease that targets the central nervous system, and it's all caused by one little bacterium, Clostridium tetani. So you've got to be wondering, right? How can one tiny microscopic organism cause something so dramatic? Well, this is where the story gets really interesting. See, it's not actually the bacteria doing the direct damage, it's the weapon it carries. Let's look at how this nasty toxin takes control. The whole infection process is like this terrifyingly efficient four-step invasion. Okay, so first, the spores get into your body, usually through some kind of cut or wound. Then, second, once they're in a place with not a lot of oxygen, the bacteria start to multiply. Third, and this is the key step, they start releasing a really powerful neurotoxin. And finally, that toxin goes on the attack, right after the nervous system. The weapon of choice here is an incredibly powerful neurotoxin. It's called tetanospasmin. And get this, it's actually one of the most lethal toxins known to science. Seriously, this one substance is what's responsible for all the devastating symptoms you see with tetanus. So what does this toxin actually do? Well, our source material says it perfectly. It attacks the nerves that regulate muscular activity. So think about it like this. It's a precision strike on the very system that tells your muscles when to tense up and when to relax. It's almost like it cuts the brake lines for your muscles, leaving them just stuck in the on position. And that's how what starts as a local problem turns into a full-blown crisis for the whole body. I mean, lockjaw might be the first thing you notice, but that toxin doesn't just hang out in one spot. Oh no, it gets into your bloodstream and just hitches a ride all over your body, messing with nerves everywhere it goes. And that's what leads to those generalized and really dangerous muscle spasms. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But what about the where? I mean, where is this microscopic threat even hiding? Let's take a look at where you might find it in our everyday environment. You might be surprised to learn that the spores for Clostridium tetani are, well, they're everywhere. Seriously, they're found all around us, in the soil, in saliva, even in animal and human feces. This stuff is literally a part of the world right beneath our feet. And that's what brings the risk into our world, right? Any open wound that gets contaminated could be an entry point. But the classic high-risk situation you always hear about, a deep puncture wound. Yep, like from the infamous rusty nail. It's because that kind of wound pushes the spores deep down into your tissue, creating that perfect low-oxygen environment those bacteria just love to grow in. So I think the big takeaway here is that a potentially deadly disease can kick off with something as simple as a scrape you get while gardening. It's a pretty powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest threats are the ones we can't even see, hiding right there in plain sight. Really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden dangers are just right under our noses?